If you've ever said, I'm not a breakfast person, I want you to know that's usually not a personality trait. It's a pattern, and patterns can change. And I hear those words from folks I work with that they are not a breakfast person, that they skip breakfast at the first time that they eat, maybe 11 a.m., 1 p.m., maybe not even until dinner time. And let's talk about why this may be a problem. It is really hard to meet all of your body's nutritional needs in just 1 or 2 meals a day. Think about how the recommendations for at least 2 servings of vegetables for adults, at least 2 servings of fruit per day for adults, not to mention whole grains, protein, healthy fats. Having all that pressure be on 1 or 2 meals, that's a lot to handle. It's not very realistic that we can make that happen. Now, if you are someone who you do shift work and you wake up a lot later in the day, you have a rotating schedule, it doesn't always look the same. Maybe you're working nights, so you're like, my breakfast is more like 8 p.m. Totally understand. Think about breakfast as literally when you are breaking your fast after sleeping a long period of time. You're under eat earlier in the day, which is then increasing your late night eating. So those big evening meals start to suppress that morning hunger, and then the cycle starts all over again. If you're skipping meals earlier in the day, your body is looking for ways to fill that energy gap. So that comes in the form of cravings, most often sugar cravings, because guess what? Sugar, easy energy. Refined carbohydrates is easy energy. Our body can process it quickly and utilize it quickly. So when we are not eating much throughout the day, when we're skipping meals like breakfast, it can lead to that overeating and that feeling of, I want sugar now. And that is not about willpower, right? Common reasons that you're not hungry. Coffee is replacing your calories. Now, I have done that. This has been my issue, especially postpartum, especially with having young kids. I had gotten into the habit of coffee replacing my breakfast. Like I would make my kids breakfast and then that whole can be intense some mornings. So then I would forget to eat breakfast and I would just be nursing my coffee all morning until lunch. Not great. I may be getting energy from that caffeine, but it is quickly going away. So having your coffee, having your caffeine replace those calories and give you that energy when you really need it from your nutrition, from your food. So say that we are skipping breakfast in the morning, but we're still getting on with our day. Your body needs energy to get through the day. And to get through the day, not just making it, but thriving and feeling good, feeling energized. What skipping meals does is increase craving for sugar later on in the day. Come afternoon, you get that afternoon slump. It's hard to pick a healthy snack. You're like, yeah, let's go for the candy bar. Let's go to the fast food line real quick. It can also make those nighttime for sweets, that nighttime snacking, feel absolutely like you just got to do it in order to get that energy that you need. That can lead to that cycle of, okay, now I'm eating too much sugar. I'm not getting in enough protein. It's hard to get in my fruits and vegetables. So instead of forcing breakfast, here's how I help people gently rebuild that morning appetite in a way that makes sense for them. Start with something. Maybe it's not a full breakfast. Let's lower that barrier to entry. We don't need to go straight to a full course breakfast made from scratch that looks perfectly beautiful and is Instagram ready. No, let's just start with something. Maybe that is half a piece of toast. Maybe that's half a banana with some peanut butter. Maybe it's a protein shake or a protein bar, if those feel like good entry points for you. Message here is that your body needs some sort of signal that today's a new day. You're giving it nutrients. Now let's look at it from the other side. Here's not what to do. We don't want to force large meals really early in the morning when you're not used to that. We don't want skip breakfast all week and then overeat in the evening. We don't want to wait until you're starving at noon when you're feeling that hungry. It's hard to make a healthy choice, and we've already gone past the point of where you need to have eaten if you are feeling that hungry. You want to avoid labeling yourself as, I'm not a breakfast person, because all that does is reinforce that story that you've told yourself. Now, here are some signs that it's working. You may notice that you have less of a mid-morning crash, that you have fewer night cravings, fewer mid-afternoon cravings, that your energy throughout the day is more stable. It's not going up and down, not feeling like you need to take a nap on your desk at 1 o'clock, and that your hunger cues are shifting earlier. So what happens when you start to eat breakfast, even if it's a small one, even if it's, just the beginning, or even if it's just eating a few hours earlier, what that does is that changes your hunger cues. Your body starts to feel hungry earlier in the day when we start to feed it regular meals. You don't have to become a breakfast person overnight. You can do it with small, sustainable changes over the course of days, over weeks, because I know it's hard. And I work with people every day where they're just like, look, lady, look, dietitian lady, I haven't eaten breakfast in years, in a decade. What you'll find is that your body is adaptive and it gets used to what it gets used to. If you're someone who's like, I wake up at 7 a.m., but the first time I eat isn't until 1 o'clock. I have some coffee in the morning, but I'm running on coffee until I eat lunch or eat a snack around 1 o'clock. What if the new goal is not to all of this perfect, healthy, well-balanced breakfast in the morning, getting up, making something from scratch? No, no, no. What if we back up a bit and say, okay, I normally eat for the first time. How about I start eating a couple hours earlier at 11? Now, ideally, you'd work to eating within an hour or two of when you are waking. I worked with someone recently who she said, her big problem was she only ate one meal a day. She wanted to eat more often because she felt like she was overeating at night. She noticed after 3 days of eating breakfast, and it was 3 days of having her usual coffee, but then also having a toast with, I think she either did avocado or peanut butter, I'm not quite sure, but she got a little bit more nutrition than usual, and a piece of fruit, typically banana or apple. She said after 3 days of doing that, she felt so much better during the day, that she didn't have as many sugar cravings in the afternoon. She wasn't reaching for her candy bars, and she had a lot more energy at work. But say you are someone who eats at 1 p.m., start with eating at 11 a.m. and see how that works for you. Maybe that's easy. Maybe you can go back to 9 a.m. and before you know it, you're going to be saying to yourself, hey, wait a second, I think I am a breakfast person. Hey, wait a second, I'm not eating as much at night. I'm not feeling as out of control. I'm waking up more well rested. All of these things really come together. They work together. So each little thing affects the rest. So if you start eating breakfast, what is that going to mean for you a week from now, 2 weeks from now? What other health habits are you going to be able to adopt because you have that healthy foundation? There's been research to show that people who eat breakfast regularly are more successful with their weight loss goals, with their weight management goals, and sustaining their weight loss. And they are also more likely to achieve the nutrient goals that we have for our bodies. So having enough fruits, having enough vegetables, having enough quality nutrition. It's also been said in the research that if you are having a healthy breakfast in the morning, that it's much easier to make additional healthy decisions later on in the day. So if you're starting with healthy decisions, then it's a lot easier to then have a healthy lunch, to then have a thought out dinner. That breakfast can really be a very good foundation to help with a host of other healthy habits during your day. The building blocks of what would make a great breakfast would be a serving of whole grains, a serving of fruit, and a serving of protein. What we're thinking with the fruit, great way to get a serving of fruit in early in the day. The whole grains are giving you fiber, giving you that sense of fullness. Protein is giving you that sense of fullness and also helping with your energy to get through the morning until the next time that maybe it's something that you take with you to work. Maybe you set an alarm for yourself within 2 hours of waking up. I'm going to make sure I eat something. Maybe I'm just going to start with half a piece of toast. Whatever you do, set that goal to be consistent for, say, at least a week and see what a difference it makes. And I'd love to know in the comments below how you feel about breakfast, what you think would make a good breakfast for you or a good first start to eating earlier in the day. Let me know what happens for you. I can't wait to find out.